Yo,
Yo, them shit low. Yo, yes sir, yes.
yo, yo. Hey, we back with none other. You know what I'm saying? You know what it
Back.
is? Bedtime stories. You know how we going down. Say what's up to him, bro.
Bedtime stories, but we ain't gonna put you to bed. Bedtime stories, but don't let this go over your head. We back once again.
Oh, that's the show. You know what I'm saying? We gonna let Boss Kimbro rock out. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all ready. Let's get to it.
Get to it.
All right. So man, we got a couple things that we want to get into, man. Number one, just make sure people understand how we coming. Today we talking about Hurricane Katrina, and for those people who have not seen the documentary, go please watch the documentary. It's on Netflix, but we gonna break it down how we do with our commentary, and we gonna go from there. Um, bro, you know what I'm saying, you've been away for a little while, you know what I'm saying, not a long time, and everybody know you want half of the program, so you know what I'm saying, let them know, you know what I'm saying, you back and we can get started.
Yeah, I'm back. Took a brief intermission. What I'm saying, a couple things went down. But I'm back, and what don't kill you make you stronger. God damn it. No pun intended. Uh, happy to be back. Happy to be back on the Bedtime Story podcast with the Big Brody. You know, the Brodowski. Lot of good things coming up. Um, and man, let's dive into it, bro.
Yeah, so one of the things that I want to actually get into right now is number one, when it comes to Hurricane Katrina and the things that transpired, it's an unfortunate scenario, extremely. So the biggest thing, my biggest thing is this, bro. People understanding the totality of the entire situation and the magnitude of people losing their lives, man. Hurricane Katrina was more than a natural disaster.
Yeah.
It was a mirror exposing deep cracks in America's infrastructure, leadership, and racial inequalities, bro. Like, this narrative that, you know, number one, I want to say this presentation will be designed for the audience who essentially overlook the truths of Katrina. The lived experiences, all the people who had a lot going and had it shattered within that moment. So
Within hours.
within
Trying
hours,
to turn
bro.
it back down.
Yeah,
Within hours.
and I want to just give some context, some historical context. So real quick, New Orleans was long carried the scars of vulnerability. So if you don't know, Hurricane Betsy happened in 1965. Hurricane Betsy had already shown how devastating the storm surges could be. So there was a hurricane in 1965. It built up just like it did in Katrina. You had black people who lived across the railroad tracks, and you had white people who lived on the other side of the railroad track. So, and here's why I say this. Here's why I say this. Hurricane Katrina made it so all of the water filled up and the levees. They blew the levees in 1965 to save the business district in that time
Mm-hmm.
period. So, for those of you who do not know, racism, people not understanding how to actually treat people based off the color of their skin, and
Uh huh.
geographically putting them in places where they will be essentially harmed because of a natural disaster, right? Yet decades later, Katrina revealed that little had been done to secure the city's most fragile communities, largely black and low income populations living in flood prone neighborhoods. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
in Katrina, I'm not saying that the levees were destroyed on purpose. What I'm saying is it has happened in 1965, Hurricane Betsy. They destroyed the levees so that they could save the business district, a place where, if you guys don't know, there's the place within Katrina, New Orleans, right? It's like a fishbowl. That place is underwater. So black people could not buy houses in the communities and spots where they felt safe, right? They had to buy houses where they could, right? We understand that zoning came into play, redlining came into play. So because of that, they put themselves in harm's way to actually be impacted from natural disasters because of racism. Crazy work.
Yeah, man. People don't understand how everything is calculated, um, and we're not going to act like that. People in New Orleans went through something that, from a financial standpoint, that they can stop, because one thing with Hurricane Katrina, even though people was like, well, why didn't they just leave? Why didn't they just get up and go? Where was the money? Where was the money to just get up and go? They didn't have the means to get up and go. So a lot of people had in their mindset that they were just going to, we're gonna ride this storm out. It's kind of like if you're living in your home now. Um, I'm not. I can't speak for everybody, but I don't think if somebody said, "Hey, a storm coming in a couple of days that could possibly tear your home apart. I need you guys to pack up and get the hell on and go stay somewhere else." How many people you think can really do that in this time period? You know, it's not a lot. And when you take it into that account and look at it from that perspective, it kind of gives you a better perspective at how people in Hurricane Katrina really succumb to that type of travesty with the water levels. Man, it was higher than regular homes. The water levels exceeded so many so many. It was at a diabolical level. I'll just say that. We'll just say that water levels is at a diabolical level. We cannot we cannot go through history without representing that moment in time. And the people that was affected most in that moment in time, just like it has been since the beginning of time, it's been black people. Oh, you can touch on that a little bit, big bro. Let them know how was our color affected primarily during
Yeah.
this time period.
Yeah. So, and just to, I mean, that was well said. Just to say, here's the deal. When it comes to black people as a whole, unfortunately, you've had black people who have been marginalized, disenfranchised, underrepresented, underappreciated for the
Yes, sir.
longest. People keep talking about, hey, black people, just pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, and we gonna get into it. Black people, pull
They
yourselves
always
up
saying
by
that.
your bootstraps. Excuse me. Things have been put in place systematically so that people cannot buy houses in places where it's geographically safer for them to actually survive throughout the years, like Hurricane Betsy and many others. Do I
Mm-hmm.
have to go down the timeline? Do I have to start with the Civil War, post Civil War, Reconstruction, reinstatement of 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, the Civil Rights Era, Emancipation Proclamation? Do we have to go down the history? I don't think we
Some
should.
sometimes it seems like you do because people be act like they just oblivious to what's going on. We don't care, or maybe they don't care what's going on. But
I mean,
let me just break it down. Just let me just give a small, just a 10-second breakdown.
yeah,
Um, so imagine if an old man is walking downtown, he's by the water tower, and I'm starting in Oak Park. If it was a race to the beach, I don't care if that man was 90 years old. He's going to get to the beach quicker than I'm going to get to the beach because of the distance. We have been, we got 400 years of being um, neglected, getting tortured, getting man, what's the word I'm looking for? Because
Beat
it really
on.
just been
Just beat on.
just getting beat,
Constantly.
just getting beat on. It's plain and simple, just getting beat on. You know, just getting beat on. And when you have a system that was never meant for you, a system that you're consistently know that's not meant for you, and a system that nobody want to admit that it's not for you, it's going to be damn near impossible to catch back up. So we've been playing catch up.
Yeah.
But the question is, how can we catch up when the system is not fair? Our founding fathers didn't have us in mind when they was writing the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. They weren't thinking about black folks. We
Right.
hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal.
Right.
Give me a nigger, get over here, nigger. Look,
Right. Exactly. And in the same breath, saying that, come on, man.
you know, hey, go
They
ahead.
got
I
it.
don't want to get sidetracked.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? We gonna start with this video, but real quick, a jewel for the people, right? For the people who are confused, white and black people especially, listen up, man. The Homestead Act in 1862, I believe. The Homestead Act is an act that was granted by the government that gave, say it again, was a gift. They
Mm-hmm.
gave all European settlers free land in 1862. Okay? So they didn't work for it. They didn't put themselves up by the bootstraps. They didn't have to go out and get master's degrees and doctors and all this. Land in 1862 that they actually kept. And you know what? Black people understood that. They fought for their share, right? Abraham Lincoln forwarded the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, and then in
Uh-huh.
1865 it was actually implemented. Okay, it was actually put into practice. Uh, they actually gave 400,000 families, settlers, 40 acres and a mule. They had 400,000 acres set for families in 1865. Those black families actually settled on that land for a period in time. You know what happened? They popped off Abraham Lincoln. Andrew Johnson, the next president, came in, revoked the land, gave it back to the gave it back to the racist slaveholders, gave it back to
Uh-huh.
them, and then the black people had to work under the slave masters again as sharecroppers. Because you know, in the law it said, oh, they can't be slaves. Okay, well we'll just have you work for 5 cents a week. You give me
Five
two
cents on
two
five
cents
cents
for
on
the
the
three
dollar.
cents.
5 cents on the dollar. Basically, we're not slaves anymore. It's kind of like what they say in jail. You get 7 cents for 2 months of work. People they trade in their KKK outfits for police uniforms. Things of that nature. Basically. Okay, go ahead. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
So we go. So yeah, man, that's for y'all. But here's what we gonna do. We gonna get into this little diatribe, man. Of this brother speaking on his experience. Kid from Hurricane Katrina, survivor shares dramatic hurricane survival story. Let's check it out.
Uh-oh.
The winds are going to pick up again, just like what you're seeing right now.
Look at the damage that's done to the roof of this awning.
This is not some small storm.
Like, they just didn't want to help us. It was many a times that a few helicopters could have, came on the roof and rescued a lot of us. It just made me feel like, we're just nothing now. It's just like they wanted us to die. I was here with my family and my grandmother, mom, little brother and sister. My grandmother didn't want to leave here, so we kind of stayed with her. We was here for 5 days. I'm surprised that this building is still standing tall after 10 years later because, during Katrina, I thought it was literally going to collapse on us. Water started coming in when the levees were broken. I think the whole first level was filled with water. See, like right on that brick area where that hole is, that small little hole, look right over it, you can see a line going across. That's where the water was. When lights shut off, it was that night, that Saturday. From that night on, 4 days afterwards, we didn't have no power. So we had to kind of like make stuff work. It was only actually that day that it stormed. But from that point on, it was, you know, a sunny day, like nothing happened, you know, but water was everywhere. I mean, you can see bodies also floating. I'm not sure who those people were in the helicopter, if there was news reporters or anything like that, but it was just watching us, not helping us. The lifeboats is the only, you know, rescuers that there were at the time. We floated all the way from Reed all the way down to Chef Mentor Highway. That's where the dry land was.
I'm just gonna pull through. Stop at the front.
Everybody was here, you know, most of New Orleans East. It was like a big crowd out here. People, random people was getting hurt or getting killed or already, you know, dead. So I was kind of looking at that as a motivation to move forward, you know, so, because that could be me or one of my family members right there. After Chef Mentor Highway, we went straight to the convention center, you know, on that 18-wheeler truck.
Like, what were you thinking when you were driving down there?
Why most of these areas is not flooded, I couldn't get that part. It was like it was almost staged or something, like it was purposely done. And again, I was wondering, are we going to be safe? Are we going home now? I mean, I wasn't told I was going to the convention center. I just thought we was going to, you know, a better area.
Now he may say this. I want to pause it real quick. He may elaborate on this, but if he doesn't, I just want to say it. So they went from the Superdome, where people were packed in like slave ships, bro. I'm talking about were packed in, thousands of people. They were there for about 4 to 5 days, maybe about 3 to 5 days. And then they say, hey, you know, there are relief packages and air relief, like, you know, helicopters or whatever, military helicopters. They would be stationed at the community center. They had to either drive or go by foot. For the people who didn't have a car, go there to the community center. Sweating, it's crazy hot down there. You smell, you stink, and people are fighting just to actually move about. Now, when he says he felt like it was staged, how things weren't flooded when they were traveling, is because when the actual flood came, the flooding or whatever else, people were essentially stranded. So I'll let him continue.
No water, no ice, no sea rashes, nothing for the last 4 days. Dead people around the walls of the convention center, laying in the middle of the street. Babies, 2 babies dehydrated and died. I just tell you, I couldn't take it.
First day here, you know, it was kind of crowded. I mean, like almost the whole city was here. And like I said, they let out the prisoners also, so you had a lot of criminals were here too, so you had to kind of, you know, watch your back. It wasn't safe at all. Well, they didn't have really, like, no type of security in this area. As far as the inside, it was like no cops, National Guards, nothing in there. Just see, like, the look on my family's face, how they was just looking like they was losing hope. You know, they was moping around, walking, and even though I know it's not a happy time, but you know, you can just feel that vibe, like they're just giving up. Seeing the family jump off this bridge right here, holding hands.
Bro, he said he seen a family jump off the bridge holding hands, bro.
Guy and his wife and 2 kids. When I tell you the whole convention center was screaming, watching them fall, I was not about to let that happen to us. I couldn't. But yeah, it was right here in Hall H. Just one big cemetery in here. Was camping right up in this area, right on against the wall for a few nights. What helped me remember this spot, because of these escalators right here. It's the same escalators I went up, was looking for beverages for our family and stuff like that. It's dark, it was real dark up there. I found a flashlight. This is right in the exact spot upstairs I saw a little girl in the ice chest, wrapped in sheets, was murdered. Like I said, I was only 14 years old. So it was real terrifying. I mean, he'll scare me now if I went up there and see the same thing. They just kept,
Yeah. Let me see his last word.
at the end of the night was making everybody more angry because no bus never came.
I don't know, man. I don't let them walk out of here. Let them walk the hell out of here. Walk to some other town. Walk someplace where you can help them.
The National Guard was holding them stranded. President Bush sent in the National Guard so that they couldn't get out, so that people could not leave the devastating trauma that they had exhibited throughout that time period.
My found a car and we try to go up this bridge to exit. So, I'm nervous when they tell us to pull over. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to get my family killed. 3 other guys came over and pointed rifles in each window. So we had rifles in 4 windows. Good thing that was this good cop. He was like, you know what? Say, I'm gonna let y'all go, but do not come back for anybody or anything you left. Just keep on going, never come back. After we made it past the police, it was like a big weight was lifted off everybody's shoulder. You heard a big sigh in the car. So
Did you kind of feel like you were sort of rescued or saved in some sense?
yeah, I felt, safe.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna let you go ahead and chime in, man.
Um, it really brings just even hearing that, even though I've heard so many stories, over the years, but it just brings still a resounding effect over me when I hear them type of stories because for one, it gives you thanks, that we lucky that we haven't been in something as dire as that, because that type of situation, you can't prepare for that. That's something that you can't prepare for. And I also want to say that goes to show how evil the world truly is, and that's just like a tip of the iceberg. Like people were dying, babies floating in the water, grandmas, people needed help, and help wasn't sent, but the National Guard was sent to help to keep you inside, to keep you inside the hellhole. So you have to really hope that you came across or encountered a good cop and not a bad cop that wasn't going to enforce that evilness. Number two, I don't know what people believe in, but this right there shows that you should believe in something because hope can be a human's greatest strength. Because in a situation like that, all you have is hope.
Man.
All you have is faith, and you gotta be able to. Sometimes hope can get you to the next day. Um, in this TikTok era, in this internet era, Lord forbid, just something like that to that magnitude happens. But I don't know if people will be able to have the mental fortitude to digress through that and just push through that because it's a different era now, bro.
Yeah.
Um, Thirdly, man, somebody just go ahead and thank God. I'm a man of God, man. Thank God for having men. Thank true men, and thank God for the woman as well. But we need men, And in this generation right now, they're trying to blur the lines. Oh, we don't know if it's just there's no genders. It's I don't know what type of sickening
We not
government
sure.
we in.
We not sure.
We not sure, but look, thank God for men. Look, thank God for men that can be able to stand up, have some goddamn backbone, and be able to see through, see through the storm. No pun intended. Um, Man, that was those words still bring a chilling effect to me when I hear him speak because man, that could have been my family. It could have been me and you know. It could have been we seeing our sister laid out, or you seeing your cousins laid out. People don't take things serious until it happens to them, until it happens to your family. So you guys just still have a certain type of reverence for things like this because you never know what can happen. You know, your life can change for the good or in the bad in one day, 1 hour. So you just gotta be thankful, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. And let's see. My whole thing is this. Oh, let me, my whole thing is this, man. You know, not truly understanding what's going on outside of people essentially bringing back what they feel and how they feel when it comes to certain disasters like Hurricane Katrina. You know, bringing
Right.
back people's remembrance of what actually happened and how it affected a large group of people because we don't necessarily have that thought process or empathy all of the time. But
Mm-hmm.
you said a lot of great things, man. This guy right here. I wanna show somebody something real quick. So while all this is happening, you had Bush, George W. Bush, right? Yeah, George W. Bush. Bush was getting a whole lot of flack. He was getting a whole lot of flack, right, for not handling things appropriately. Okay, cool. So you know what he decided to do? Bush decided to go
What's that?
see people. He decided to go see it for himself. And this is what Bush was looking like. This Bush, this Bush, man.
Hell not gonna help my.
You know he, you know how they try to portray it. And there's W. George Bush, George W. Bush. There's Bush. He's out there. He's flying over him, fist clenched. And bro, bro, you ain't down for no war, bro. You
You
ain't
ain't no
down
martyr.
for no motion. You just there. All Bush is saying was this, man. They really get messed up. Y'all see
Yeah,
that?
they fucked up right now. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? You know,
let's hurry up and fly over and like just we give an interview or something. He went. He after that he went to finish his vacation. 2 days after. This is when the crisis was still going. Of course, it's been like 2 days of of the unrest of Katrina. He went to vacation and then came back to address the issue. This man has more death on him than probably any other president outside of Lincoln and
Obama,
Lyndon B. Johnson. This guy,
Obama
think
too.
about it. Iraq, 9/11, Hurricane Katrina. This man does not do well at his job at all. I don't know who told this dude to be president. This guy is not a smart or intelligent human being. He's a goofball. Kanye West said it best also. George Bush does not like black people. Period.
I mean, but presidents, we don't pick the presidents; they're chosen. People know that. We know this. It's just a bloodline, and we don't. People don't like to speak on it, and I understand why. But presidents are chosen, and if if a race of people had the choice of man, should we keep our power or relinquish it slowly to these other folks? I mean, let's what we think they gonna do, you know? So we just gotta start keeping it real. We gotta call a spade a spade. And I give President Bush this. I'm not asking President Bush to bring your when that situation happens, bring your family down there and have them sitting in the dome with the folks that's suffering. But when you sign up for a job such as the president, man, it has to be a certain level of of commitment to the job. Like you gotta be willing to sacrifice yourself for the people, and he just didn't do that.
No, he didn't. He didn't do that, man. And I wanna forward people to this real quick. Um, George Bush, and also George Bush ain't do nothing but point his damn finger. He brought in some dude. He brought in a general, I believe, to help work out with logistics. I urge people to please watch the hurricane because actually within this video, this guy, and please put some respect on this guy's name, the Katrina kid. He's more than a Katrina kid. Put his goddamn name on there, okay? This guy, he brought up how a family held hands and jumped from the bridge. That wasn't in the Netflix documentary. We brought things here that was not in the Netflix documentary. But back to Bush. Bush, he did two things. Number one, he brought a general who was trained in logistics to try and help the people. And number two, Bush did a lot of stuff that was essentially, uh, control, right? The word I'm looking for is, danger control or chaos control, essentially. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
The best thing Bush did, bro, was dodge them two shoes when he was having that news reporter. That's one of
oh
the
yeah,
best things
I
I see
forgot to put that
President
on
Bush.
there. I forgot, I forgot to.
That's the best thing I've seen Bush did.
No, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. All right, I'm gonna go through this real quick for the people.
Okay.
Hurricane Katrina. Truth beyond the headlines. Detailed talking points and lessons learned. So let's look at this real quick. Let's look at this for a quick second. It says Hurricane Katrina struck August 29, 2005 as a Category 3 storm. Winds up to 125 miles per hour. More than 1,800 people died, millions displaced, 161 billion in damages. I'm gonna say it again, billion in damages. They're still recovering from this Hurricane Katrina.
1,800 people died.
Yes, more than 1,800 people died, exposed racial and economic inequities in U.S. disaster
Exposed.
response.
These words they be using. Who didn't know that you got? Hey, who didn't
Yeah,
know that these people, the hair? Man, look, you guys have been holding the cards for an ample amount of years. When you guys spread the sugar, spread the wealth. What is so hard about spreading sugar and spreading the wealth for black folks? And
right.
let's not just say, oh man, it's black folks. It's the reason why they're behind. It's black folks. That's not true. Look around. Look around, even in our own neighborhoods. It's churches and liquor stores on every goddamn corner.
Yep,
Why is that?
yep,
Where all these kids getting the guns at? They're not flying them over here.
right.
I mean, just yeah, when you I'm not speaking on the lower tier black folks who can't think for themselves, who
Mhm.
can't formulate sentences, who can't even think past the something. But just if you just take a second and think about it, I mean, when you live in the conditions that we live in, it's going to be kind of hard to get to the next level if you can't even see the next level.
Right.
And for Hurricane Katrina, it just really exposed the fact that what Michael Jackson said, they don't really care about us. That's all I want to say. They don't really care about us.
They didn't
Proof is
spend
in the pudding.
they didn't spend so much money on BS, man. It's ridiculous. New Orleans sits
Uh,
largely below sea level, protected by levees. Okay. Hurricane Betsy, I talked about this. Hurricane Betsy in 1965 had already revealed flood vulnerabilities. You guys should have prepared for this. You understand that people, especially within the poor areas, are living under sea level, which means if anything were to strike, they are in big trouble. No one prepared. Uh,
Grave trouble.
man, again, the white people running this country, they need to be held accountable. Who gave you the keys to run this country? You don't prepare for anything. You're not smart enough. You're not trained in logistics. You don't have the background to actually educate people, feed the mass, the media that they're actually supposed to be responding to correctly.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the people who need help can't get it. You spewing out language that doesn't make any sense, or that's great great area language is what I like to call it. People don't know what to do
Mm-hmm.
when they read it. They don't know what you're talking about.
It's just a whole bunch of words that sound good, but
Right.
it don't mean shit. I
Um.
can do that. I can. They ain't nothing but a pimp. A pimp,
Right.
it can make it look. You know, a pimp, and I ain't talking about proper instruction to motivate people. I'm talking about a pimp that's pimping his own people. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
getting over. I'm not talking about proper instruction that motivate people. I'm not talking about that type of pimping. You know, and look, it's a cold world out here, and it's going to continue to get colder until change comes. And I ain't talking about change Obama was talking about. I'm not talking about Obamacare. I'm not talking about that type. I'm talking about real change. I'm not talking
Bomb.
about. I'm
Drop a
not talking
bomb for
about.
that.
I hopefully look. Please don't ban me. I'm not talking about letting two men marry each other. That's not the change that we need. You know, and cool to also men marrying each other. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, we ain't
But
got
let's
nothing to
give women
get.
the right
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah. We
You
ain't got.
know,
We just talking about. You know what I'm saying? Trying to improve black people. That's it.
I'm just talking about improving the lives of people, of men and women.
Quality of
and,
life.
and, and in the ABC JFK community too. I want to improve you guys' lives too, but can we not focus on your sexuality, but focus on the conditions of the community for 1 second, maybe? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Now, let me be quiet though. I'm gonna get somebody in trouble.
Yeah. We want all people to just it's just I'm just saying and we support everybody. We want everybody to
We
win.
support everybody.
Yeah.
We support everybody, but everybody don't support us.
Yeah.
That's fucking up.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. You get you
You know.
Hurricane Katrina. You flying your ass over the top and sending millions upon millions of souls and money over to Iraq. You done had how many people died under Iraq, man? Hundreds of thousands of people died over in Iraq. You had up to
Searching for oil. For
searching
oil,
for
right?
oil. Up to 3,000 people died over at 9/11. People died in Katrina. Come on, man. You should never even sat in that seat. I don't even know why all these people that's at the top. But for people who don't know, that's the deal. When it comes to politics, when it comes to certain administrations, the people who are pressing the buttons, you're more than likely more intelligent than these people. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. The average person that's intelligent, growing up in the hood, that understand what's going on inside of their community, thinks pragmatically. You are more intelligent, and you should you should have the input to actually speak to the people at the top because they have no clue what they're doing. George Bush came from a family who was rich already, lived in a bubble. He has no clue what people in
What's
Katrina are
going
going
on?
through. No clue. No,
No
no,
idea.
that's why when they flying over the top, they figure, oh, the people waving for help on top of the roof, oh, they good. Let's go to somebody else. That's why they doing it. They have no clue.
Don't.
Unfortunately, this is the reality for you. This is the reality. Go ahead, bro.
People exist in higher places. That's what people need to understand. People think that rich folks or wealthy folks are above doing heinous acts. Evil exists in higher places. So once you guys realize that evil exists in higher places, you can start having a more um, informational thoughts with yourself, more intuitive thoughts with the people. This life that we live is not a game. But people treat it as such because they treat people like their lives don't matter. They treat people like their lives are not as important as the people that are above them. What's up, Quinn? How you doing? But that is just not the truth.
100%.
We gotta do better as a people. We gotta do better as a community, and it starts within. that's most importantly. It starts within. Change come within. There's one thing I can say that Tupac was true. They said that was real, man. It come from within, and we got to spark the change. But if we keep on if we keep on not having the mental fortitude to dissect the bullshit and believe everything that the TV, the propaganda that they give us, well,
Yeah.
we the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Stop it. You can't believe everything that these people tell you. You just cannot. You cannot. Hey, look, is this thing going? Can you hear me? You cannot believe everything that these people tell you.
Are you are you hard of hearing? Can you figure that out, bro? I know you grew up with 1 + 1 = 2, bro. But that's bro. The government, they've lied plenty of times, bro. Look up the COINTELPRO. You know what I'm saying? They've lied plenty of times, man. Look up,
They got secret
things
docks for a reason.
like everything, man. Um,
Yes, sir.
you got Mayor Ray Nagin issued late evacuation order. So there's a mayor in New Orleans. I got the New Orleans, you know what I'm saying, purple and green behind me. The mayor, he was pretty much late on evacuation order. So the system is trash. You had a Governor Kathleen Blanco, clashed with federal agencies on control of National Guard. So they're beefing. You got the Governor Kathleen and you got the Mayor Ray politically beefing over control of the National Guard instead of putting the goal in front and orchestrating all sorts of resources and logistic avenues to serve the goal. In administration, education, whatever else, they teach you put the goal in front, bring input so that everyone knows, hey, what's the best way to achieve the goal? Not who's pressing a button. Who cares how the solution gets there? Let's just get it there. Then you had FEMA, the emergency agency, under Michael Brown, criticized for incompetence. Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job, right? So this person, the essentially the emergency response team, right? If there's a school, you got a bus coming in, you have thunder and lightning, you got hail and you got winds, you got a natural disaster, trees falling on cars. We'll call FEMA, the emergency response agency. So they'll come in and actually help. They're supposed to have things already in place. They didn't do that for people under the Katrina devastation. President George W. Bush flew over New Orleans 2 days later. They'll tell you they didn't know about what was going on 6 days after. Bush flew over looking like this 2 days later. Oh, hell. Oh, that's what's going on? Shit.
Oh, I didn't think
Right?
it was going to be this goddamn bad. We didn't know.
And the media, oh, there's George Bush, fist clenched, looking down at the people. Bro, people came into Katrina. Hey guys, George Bush just flew over. He's looking at you guys. He looked at you. Yay! George, the white guy looked at you.
Imagine you're in time of need, and instead of sending help, instead of sending food, instead of sending resources that we need, you fly over us waving. Somebody should have shot his ass out there. Wait, he's not the president no more. Don't come get me. He ain't the president no more. I said somebody should have.
Right,
I mean, come on now. Look, I'm just a man of the people, not above but equal. All right,
man, bro. This
it's a
shit
cold
pissed me
world we
off,
living
bro.
in.
And then he gave a speech about the catastrophe and whatever else. But his 45-minute speech, he spent only 2 minutes on Katrina, seen as out of touch. No kidding, he's out of touch.
I mean, they don't feel our pain. He never needed anything in his life. He never
Exactly.
needed anything in his life. He don't know. He's been rich his whole life. We know one thing that I, one thing that I think that we all can agree on as a people, that I don't feel like rich old Caucasian men should be leading the world. I don't. I just. I don't. We need younger people. It could be Caucasian. It could be Asian. It could be black. But we need younger people that's more in touch with what's really going on in the world to lead this country. You know. Hey, I mean, I said it.
Yeah. Um, and as we round this out, I just want to say, like, a lot of times, man, also it's not necessarily about, intelligent or, being smart, bro. White These people who come from these areas, affluent areas, have had money their whole lives. Listen, sometimes we can't even blame them. They haven't had the exposure. Sometimes it's not about being able to read and being able to, like, perform a math equation. Some of these motherfuckers never had the exposure. They haven't been exposed to a black person with locks
Never even
like
be next
Josh
to him for real.
that's intelligent. They have no clue. It's just science. It has nothing to do about that. You know what they get fed? Stay away from black people. They dangerous. They are unintelligent and they rowdy. So you actually bake that into your mind. That's the only image you have of black people. The way you walk around life, your experiences, your emotions, your experiences are constructed from what you built in the past. So your mind is building predictions on what you see in that very moment. If you've only seen niggas act a fool, you're gonna believe niggas act a fool. That's the
Yep.
truth. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with how many books you read. It's exposure. It takes at least one mind to help create another one. I'm gonna say it again. It takes at least one mind to help create another one. So you got all
And
these
there,
people talking about how smart they are. Bro, you were an infant once. You was a baby once. You wouldn't know how to read unless someone taught you. You wouldn't have money unless somebody gave it to you. You wouldn't be as, well equipped or have resources if someone helped you along the way. That's the fact of it. And I hate when they have motherfuckers that go into these rooms acting like they better than somebody when you know you've been spoon fed since you was 5. You've had the resources when you was 5. Since you've been raped, your mom put books all around. You had everything going for you, and you let a nigga like you, 31, 32 years old, get a doctorate degree and now shine you and become more smart and intelligent. I don't want to hear nothing about that, man. If you ain't grew up in the hood, we already know the gritty stuff part, but let me just touch on it. If you ain't grew up in the hood and you ain't had to boil the water to take a bath, if you ain't had to open the stove up to heat the house, if you ain't sat in the dark and your father rubbing your shoulder talking about everything gonna be all right eating cold chicken, I don't want to hear that shit, man. See, it's certain shit I don't forget. A lot of you
that's better.
niggas be bullshitting, man. Period. Period.
Tell him. Talk to him.
So, um, let's see if we can wrap this up, bro. I'm gonna let you have some closing words on it as well. Says
I was ready to run through the wall right now. He had me
uh,
out there stand up.
but I don't
I
want,
was like,
like, I don't
stand
want
up.
to hear it, Brody. You know what I'm saying, pops? We in the dark. No, you look back. I'm like, man, that's not even supposed to. Why are we in the dark? The lights off. You know what I'm saying? Lights off. We eating cold church's
Lighting
chicken.
candles. Lighting candles.
Right, lighting candles.
And that's not and look, and that's not to say that we grew up in bad because when you're younger and you're growing up in it, you don't know that you're in poverty. You don't really
Right.
start to know that you're in poverty until you get older. So it really was a learning lesson. It really did build character. It really did make us become better people, better men. So when we say when people are out of touch, they really do be out of touch with themselves. As far as you gotta, I don't see that you. I don't see you understanding somebody who came from nothing, who came from the bottom, or who came from a underprivileged neighborhood. How can you understand them if you've never been a part of it?
Yeah.
That's basically what broke in that. You know,
Yeah.
that's what he getting at. You got to go through something. You got to been and went through something to really feel pain. How can you really feel sorry for somebody if you never even been through it? How?
Yeah. And listen again. We not, and this is going up under the playlist for the, you know what I'm saying, for the black people. White people tune in if you want to. But my thing is this: for all colors, man, all people have done me dirty in a sense. Hispanic, black, white. My whole thing is this: when you have people who have a lot of money and grow up in a bubble and have always been able to say yes to whatever they've wanted, That's fine. You don't want to grow outside of your box. You don't want to expand your bubble. That's fine. But don't look down on people who have been through things and have made decisions. Fortunately, you never had to make. And then you want to act like you're better than them. They just weren't dealt those cards. So they had to do other things. They had to see other things. They started in a different place. My thing is, you coming around like you better. How are you saying you better than them? How? How? When they can say something that's a fact, and you all in your feelings. When they say something that's a fact, you can't handle it. How? How? How are you? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying, bro? So that's what be killing me. It's fine. Okay, cool. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? You did this. You know what I'm saying? You did that. And you know what I'm saying? You well off. Cool. Okay. But you go. No one is beyond the reproach of life. Nobody. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's see if we can wrap this up. It says reports of violence in Superdome exaggerated, later proven false. So they tried to make black people out to make them seem, like just ratchet animals. National Guard deployed with orders to restore order, quote unquote, restore order. All right, narratives distracted from lack of food, water, and medical care. Okay, so people really needed food, water, medical care. Imagine having going 4 or 5 days, no water or food. Tens of thousands stranded at Superdome and Convention Center with no aid, elderly and disabled disproportionately affected. Many died awaiting rescue. People died waiting on that. I forget the highway, but there's a specific highway where they want to go from where they was living to the actual convention center. People died on that highway. People died. So when they talk about people acting like savages and other, look, people just wanted to survive. They were trying to find any place to get water. Elderly, displacement crisis. 1.5 million people evacuated across 50 states. Okay, so people who were in Katrina, they flew out to different states to get refuge. Families separated, children lost schooling for months or even years. Grassroots resilience, right? So there were local communities who came together to actually help Katrina, which we don't talk about that. Local communities of black people and white people, but black people came together, right, to help, to actually assist. They weren't thugs. They were looking to aid. Right? Local Cajun Navy volunteers rescued thousands with personal boats. Churches, mosques, and community centers became emergency shelters. Grassroots mutual aid networks filled FEMA's gaps. Right? Uh, and resilience redefined survivors as more than victims, symbols of strength. All right, we almost done. 100,000 plus residents never returned to New Orleans. Neighborhoods like the Lower Ninth Ward remained scarred decades later. Recovery aid unevenly distributed. Wealthier, whiter areas rebuilt faster. Housing crisis
Of
fueled,
course.
fueled, fueled gentrification, erasing cultural communities. Lastly, all right, the lessons that we're learning here. Disasters magnify existing inequalities. What they mean there is that they're talking about the buildings that were built, okay, due to the inequalities within racism. All right, people weren't able to build in certain places, right? Zoning, okay. They weren't able to build in different places. They were building in places where it was, designed as a fishbowl under sea level. So they were already put in a position to have catastrophic hit them head on. Planning must be equitable. Okay, coordination between federal, state, and local governments is critical. These motherfuckers at top need to learn how to work together. They shouldn't be sending those seats if they can't have a conversation about what's the best solution for people to survive. Infrastructure investment saves lives. Neglect costs lives. I'm gonna say it again. Infrastructure frameworks, systems that build out resolutions in a time of crisis. Investing in that saves lives. Neglecting costs lives. Again, narratives matter. Media framing shapes public perception of victims. When you have idiots, black and white, whatever color, listening to the media saying that these people are thugs and they're looting, you have a black person carrying a bag stealing from the grocery store, and you have a white person with a bag from the grocery store, and they're saying, "Oh,
He's
yes,
trying to survive.
or whatever else." You know how it is. BS. Preparedness and leadership failures remain cautionary tales, bro. And that's, you know what I'm saying. Go ahead and wrap us up, man.
Man, look, it's been going on for years, but when disaster strikes, you would think that you would think that goodness will sink in when disaster strikes. But for black people and people, I'm not even gonna say black people, for people in lower income neighborhoods, that's not true. When disaster strikes, evil sits in, and we start to realize, just like the people who died a horrific death in Katrina, help is not coming. And the media has so much propaganda. Oh man, people didn't want to leave. People, they was forewarned 2, 3 weeks ahead of time. They should have left. Man, where was them people gonna go?
Right.
And it's not it's not a community's job. Not even a community. It's not a city's job to to save themselves from Hurricane Katrina. It's the government's job to, like you said, have the infrastructure that's already built in place to be able to have these things to at least soften the blow. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys don't think people that was in more of a more let me see, a more sophisticated neighborhood, or a more well-off neighborhood, I'm
Mm.
pretty sure they got out in time. I'm pretty sure a lot of their stuff wasn't damaged. I'm pretty sure that
Point.
things that they had, stayed intact for the most part. At time always reveals that we don't we're not we're not so far back from we're not so far back from the Emancipation Proclamation. We're not that far
Right.
from
We're
that.
not, bro. We're not. Right. Right. Civil rights era, bro. Civil rights era was, less than 60 years ago. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And people
About
don't realize that. People don't realize that, man, we're not that far from the racism and just being neglected and brutalized and just pulverized as a race.
yeah.
When we try to make steps to even have Black Wall Street, they came and bombed us. So we gotta worry about natural disasters. You gotta worry about people disasters. You gotta worry about your own people taking you out. So it's enough. Enough is enough. I don't really know what to say. I don't have the words to say to to make things better. But what I can say is to be aware is to be alive. And we gotta stop falling for the propaganda. You gotta stop falling for the okie doke. You gotta stop believing everything you see that come out that TV screen because it's just not true.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Man, for phenomenal episode. We didn't even know. We just gonna close out, man. As always, for the people, as we close out, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. My last thoughts on this is, hey, man. I don't know. Get your money up. They only don't know. No matter how smart you is, no matter how many credentials you got, they still want to. You know what I'm saying? Hold you back, blackball you. Um, find something you like to do and get your bread up, man. That's all I got to say.
Get your money up. Get your money up. Don't get your funny up. You gotta get your money up. Your money, your money will save you. Um, you gotta believe in something. Stand for something. Don't fall for anything. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. In this simulation, provide a demonstration to the higher power showing who you are. Only then do we soar across the pages of life. Until next time, y'all know what it is. Love it to you.